Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in for yet another live. Today, it's Financial Freedom at 33, navigating home ownership without being house poor. And thank you for joining me. If you want to see a plan, tune in on YouTube. The QR code is available right here. If you want to take a snapshot of it, a screenshot, and share it with someone you know. Otherwise, we will get started. We're going to be live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, and Twitch.com. So feel free to participate on your platform of choice. I thank you all so much for tuning in. And if question, feel free, put them in the chat today. We are going to get started in 1 second. As soon as I can say hi and greet you guys properly, we will get going. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, this is your live to learn a little bit more about real estate every day and how it benefits you and those around you. Like I mentioned earlier, today we are talking about financial freedom at 33, navigating home ownership without being house poor. Why 33, you might ask? Well, if you are like me, you are probably a millennial, and peak millennial age as of a recent study puts it at 33 years old. So the majority of millennials are currently 33 years old. And at this point, if you're financially free at 33, you're pretty much in a good spot. So why not start there? Why not start with one of the largest waves of populations that we have and the median, and just figure out what we can do to not be house poor. And what is house poor? House poor is when you mathematically can qualify for a property, but are really forgetting the life to life, day to day expenses that might come into play that could put you over the edge. In other words, just because you're approved for $1 million doesn't mean that you should spend $1 million. And today we're going to discuss on some strategies that you and your friends and loved ones can use so that you aren't over purchasing and overspending on a property beyond your means. And really, it's going to come down to a few key strategies that we will see as a common theme. So, number one, a realistic budget. Determine how much you can comfortably afford for your monthly mortgage payment, considering your income, expenses, and financial goals. It really is about being realistic with what you have. Don't think about what you're gonna have. Let's think about what you do have. Because if we all worked on future income, I think we would all be a lot more rich than we are currently. So set realistic budgets based off the expenses that you have and have had for the last year to 2 years. Follow in all costs. Factor in all costs. Don't just focus on the mortgage payments. Consider additional expenses like property taxes, home ownership insurance, utilities, maintenance, and unexpected repairs. You have to at least estimate anywhere from $200 to $300 extra for your utilities. Then your maintenance and your unexpected repairs, those are, well, your maintenance you could kind of factor in a certain amount for every month, but your unexpected repairs, that's where we really have to discuss your financial readiness when it comes to buying a home. Now more than ever, being properly up to buy a house is going to be the most important thing that you do. It's not going to be so much about, oh, can I qualify? Can I, how soon can I purchase a home? Now it's really going to be, are you financially stable? One, and two, are we setting you up to win in this property? Because just because you can qualify for the max amount on your property doesn't mean that you should really maybe purchase a home. It might not be the best time. Yes, it might be more expensive coming up, but you have to factor in a lot more costs of living that come with owning a home. So, setting aside at least 20 to 30% of your take home for these unexpected bits that might come up is a safe bet. And remember, a third should be going for your living, and then a third should going for your expenses. So if we did our math right, we should be in a rule of thirds. I know it's much harder to do that in real life, but hopefully with the amount of prosperity that we're seeing in so many industries, we're going to have more people making more money buying these homes. And that's really the long and the short of how industry keeps going up, especially real estate. How it keeps going up is the supply and demand factor that pushes these markets, because not all properties will become available at the same time. Some may never become available again. So when they do become available, you have to factor in these costs and make sure that they work within your budget at the time of you purchasing it safely. Not just scraping it by, safely. Number three, save for a down payment. Aim to save at least 20% for a down payment to avoid private mortgage insurance, PMI, and reduce your overall loan amount. Um, yes, this is very true and very accurate, but I will say that the amount you're going to be saving yourself trying to save up the 20% down payment will be maybe about a couple $100, depending on your credit score is. So talk to your lender and see what the difference is putting the 20% down or not putting the 20% down. Because if really you save yourself not so much in the long run, having the full blown exposure of an extra 20% down when you can comfortably finance the property, I think it's a little much. But if you're an investor, if you're serious about the property, if you don't mind putting the full 20% down, I think it's the most positive move. My biggest rule of thumb is at least having 5% down and 5% for your closing costs, just so that you can cover all your bases. Consider your future costs. That's going to be number four. Think about your long term plans, how your housing needs may change over time. A starter home might be more suitable than a forever home at this stage. A starter home is typically that can easily make itself um, a good property for a small family that's just gotten together, a small couple with maybe some kids. Really, a whole plethora of situations can start with a starter home. That's why it's a blank slate. But with a forever home, we're talking more about a specialized property. We're talking more about an estate. We're talking more about something that's obviously a little bit larger, maybe something a little bit more valuable, and also a little bit more to the taste of the buyer. So you have to take that into consideration for your forever home. We lived up to a forever home. We aren't expecting to purchase a forever home right off the bat when we go purchase our first property in our 30s. Now, number five, don't too far. Avoid maxing out your budget to buy. Avoid maxing out your budget to buy the biggest or fanciest house you can qualify for. Leave room for flexibility and unexpected expenses. Always leave a budget. You're administering this, you're stewarding this. So make sure that you're running this ship correctly, because it is one of these things that if you're navigating it and set up everything's right, you'll never have a bad day. You'll never be wondering, hey, where's my next payment going to be? Because you're going to have your savings, because you're going to have a steady job, because you're going to have your emergency fund, because you're going to have all these other contingencies in place. They're going to protect you just in case things go south. Because the last thing we want is for you to lose your property once we get it. So we want you to well and safely qualify for these properties when we go out there and purchase them, especially now more than ever. Number six, account for lifestyle changes. Be mindful of how your lifestyle and expenses may evolve, such as starting a family, changing job, or pursuing higher education. If you're thinking about any of those things, those are life changing events. And in just the same way that you purchase this home, these are events that need to be considered very seriously. They are very, very costly, but in the end, help grow your net worth. So, think about it, take them into consideration and weigh them the options that you have when it comes to purchasing a home. If making a family and building your family is more important, or starting a business is more important than purchasing a home, that might be a smarter move. Number seven, build an emergency fund. Have savings set aside for emergencies or unexpected financial setbacks like job loss or medical expenses to prevent dipping into your housing budget. Excuse me. So, your housing budget, excuse me, your housing budget is what you're going to already set aside from your income so that you don't have to worry about it. It's all automated. It's what's your, you know, take home minus all your expenses and everything that you're going to be purchasing when it comes to food, utilities, and all the basic essentials. So make sure that you are having that fund set aside first with a small amount when you're getting the ball rolling, so to speak, on this whole money management thing. And then you want to get up to 6 months of savings. If you can get more, then great. Get up to a year. Then we obviously, around the 6 month mark, once you've built up that much in savings, you obviously want to start, saving for your down payment, or use that for your down payment and start building up the fund again. But more than anything, you never want to be without enough expenses um, to maintain you during a unforeseen emergency, really. And that's why it's called an emergency fund. Nothing touches this. It isn't in a high yields savings account, so to speak, or like a CD, something that's locked in. It's in something that's easily accessible, but preferably getting high yields on its return, because it's something that it's technically our savings that we're not going to touch. So we don't want to make it too easy to have access to it, but we also don't want to make it too hard as well, because in an emergency, that's really when you need it the most. Number eight, explore affordable areas. Consider neighborhoods or suburbs where housing prices are more reasonable, even if it means a longer commute or fewer amenities. It can make the difference between buying one home every 2 to 3 years versus purchasing maybe one home every 5 to 10 years. It can make all the difference. When we had people that were understandable in their maybe discontent with having to move out of the area further, but were of some of the first to do it, they got some of the best deals, I believe, in some of these locations. So as these locations started to rise in value, they of course were some of the first to appreciate. We are now starting to see a lot of them start to already see great returns on their investment, so much so as 60 to 80,000 dollars. So and that's within 2 to 3 years of difference. Now, this has been a very historic 2 to 3 years, so we can easily expect more appreciation on those properties over time at a steadier, slower rate. But the affordability of those areas now, as supply again becomes an issue, it's just going to keep going down because the affordability of these areas, these properties are going to be going for more and more people are going to want them because they're the sought after areas, as more and more people are unable to go up in the pricing bracket. But number 9, be mindful of debt. Avoid taking on additional debt like car loans or credit card debt that could strain your finances and make it harder to afford your mortgage payment. The only thing you have to make sure is that your mortgage is taken care of and your utilities are taken care of. Everything else is secondary. Everything else can wait. And if you can't wait for it, you budget for it. You save for it. You have to make this a process. That's why it's not just a matter of like getting the money, getting the down payment, getting the house, and boom, I'm there. That's where you get this house poor concept of sitting there in a living room with nothing around you. Yeah, you bought the house. That's great. But now you have nothing. And what are you going to do when with this property? Are you going to like live here? And what are you going to eat? Like, number 10, last one for tonight. Get professional advice. Consult with a financial advisor or mortgage broker to review your financial situation and explore all available options before committing to a home purchase. This is the key. A realtor can help you with homes. A financial advisor can help you with finances. A mortgage broker can help you with mortgages. Find advisors that can help you for the things that you need. And share good advisors with those that are around you, because a lot of us are have grown up and come from situations where finances have not been talked about, it has not been destigmatized, and we're out here, just kind of wandering around and can use someone with a helping hand. So if you know someone that is doing good job in the industry and is helping out the community, helping out other millennials, feel free and recommend them to your friends and family, because they can really make an impact and give everyone an opportunity. More than anything, that's what we want to see. We want to see more people in these homes and starting to build wealth with their income. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not a, you'll become a millionaire overnight, but goodness, it is a really good business fundamental, and it's easily repeatable. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to pull it off. And it's all about saving and spending within your means. It's not difficult. Just a matter of setting your mind to it and putting your best foot forward to make this happen. But who am I to tell you what to do? What do I do? I am Hugo Quintanilla, your realtor. I am licensed in Maryland, Long and Foster, North Potomac, Rockville. So if you or anyone you know needs help buying, selling, leasing, or investing, I would be really honored to help you and all of your friends and family out. I actually have a rental coming up in Rockville. So if you or anyone you know needs help in Rockville, please let me know. I'd love to help them out. It's going to be a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, just in case you were curious. So, yeah, if you have any questions or we're tuning in later on in the stream, the discussion for today was 10 suggestions tailored to helping you avoid being house poor as a millennial at 33. And why 33? 33 is the prime age of most millennials at this moment. The big bulk of millennials that are considered millennials are 33 years old right now. So if we can use some of these suggestions to avoid being house poor, then we're really going to be on a great start. Well, a great position to continue our financial journey to financial freedom. Number one is set a realistic goal. Number two was factor in all costs. Number three was save for a down payment. Number four was consider your future. Number five was don't stretch too far. Number six was account for lifestyle changes. Number seven was build an emergency fund. Number eight was explore affordable areas. Number nine was be mindful of debt. And number 10 was get professional advice. By following these tips, you can make informed decisions and ensure that home ownership enhances your financial well being rather than become a burden. And that's what I try to tell each and every one of my clients. I want to make this house a wealth builder for you. I don't want it to make a money pit for you. And it's hard sometimes to tell clients, no, now's not the time. And a lot of clients want me to do that for them. But really, it's not so much about that as it is about getting them in the right frame of mind to understand that, hey, this is what the situation is. This is where you are. And this is where you need to be to get to the next level. Everyone can do it. We are all capable of it, as we all know that we all have the same 24 hours in a day. So, go out there and make it happen. I believe in you. Take care. Have a great night, and I will talk to you tomorrow.